the inspiring story of a Korean immigrant family's success in America. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, I want to share with you an extraordinary story. It's not just about one family's success. It's about how the sacrifice of one generation became the harvest of the next, and how that harvest, in turn, grew into hope for their grandchildren. Back in the 1970s and 80s, South Korea was racing toward economic growth. But life was still uncertain for many. Countless young couples dreamed of a better future and chose to leave everything behind for America. But as many of you know, the immigrant's first step into a new land is never easy. This story begins with one such young couple. They carried nothing but love and hope when they boarded that plane. Yet the reality waiting for them in America was far harsher than they had imagined. Chapter 1: Marriage and the Leap to America. Right after their wedding, the couple made a life-changing decision. Our children must have a better future than we ever had. Their relatives tried to stop them. Why go? You'll only suffer there. Isn't life hard enough here already? But the young couple's determination was unshakable. We'll endure the hardships. What matters is that our children grow up with opportunities we never had. When they landed in the U.S., what greeted them was not a promised land, but a cold, unforgiving reality. A rundown apartment with rent they could barely afford. A landlord who frowned at their broken English. A city full of unfamiliar faces and skeptical eyes. The husband found work at a construction site. Day after day, his hands blistered, his knees swollen from endless labor. The wife worked as a hospital aide during the day, then cleaned offices at night. The smell of menthol patches filled their tiny apartment as they collapsed from exhaustion each night. And yet, when their first child was born, their resolve only grew stronger. It's okay if we suffer. What matters is that our child has a future brighter than ours. Chapter 2: The Math Prodigy. Their son's unusual gift appeared early. While other kids stacked toy blocks for fun, he counted and calculated. This one has 4. That one has 6, together that's 10. In elementary school, he stunned his teachers. When the class was just learning fractions, he was already talking about decimals and ratios. His teacher called the parents in. "Your son is exceptional." It's as if he's speaking directly to mathematics itself. But the parents had no money for tutoring. Their solution? The public library. Every evening, after long shifts, they brought home stacks of books. They couldn't even understand most of them, but their son devoured every page. By high school, his reputation was set. Perfect score on the SAT math section. Leader of the math club so advanced that even teachers relied on his explanations. An admissions officer from MIT was astonished. This student doesn't just solve problems, he invents new ones. Everyone expected him to attend MIT. But he surprised them all. "I want to be a doctor. Math helps me understand the world, but medicine will let me save lives." Chapter 3: UCLA and the Price of a Dream. So he chose UCLA's medical school over MIT. But the road ahead was brutal. Tuition, textbooks, living expenses, numbers that seemed impossible for an immigrant family. The parents swallowed their worries and told him only one thing: "Don't worry about us. Just study." Of course, he knew the cost of their sacrifice. That's why he stayed in the library until dawn, his desk lit by a single lamp. When friends asked why he studied so relentlessly, he gave a simple answer: "Because my parents are behind me. They never rest, so how could I?" The parents never bought themselves new clothes. But whenever their son needed a book or resource, they found a way. We may be poor in money, but we are rich in your dreams. Chapter 4: A Love Story in the Library. During medical school, the young man spent countless nights in the library. One day, he noticed a young woman who was always there. Too quiet, focused, her notes precise, her experiments meticulous. They began to study together. Over time, their conversations grew deeper. One evening, she said something that struck his heart. "I'm not becoming a doctor for money or status. I want to save lives. I want to give people hope." Her words mirrored the very reason he had chosen medicine. From that moment, they grew inseparable. By graduation, he brought her home to meet his parents. The moment his mother and father met her, they felt at peace. "If she walks beside our son, we can rest easy." Chapter 5: The Doctor Couple Today. Years later, both son and daughter-in-law are physicians at a renowned American hospital. He performs complex surgeries, saving patients others had given up on. She is known for her kindness and careful care, healing not just bodies but hearts. Colleagues describe them as a rare couple who make each other stronger. Their home is a spacious house outside the city, filled with books and children's laughter. Weekends are for family picnics in the park, fishing trips by the ocean. The grandparents watch their grandchildren with teary eyes. All those years of sweat and sacrifice, this is the harvest. The son and daughter-in-law never forget. "We are here because of you. Without your sacrifice, none of this would exist." Chapter 6: A Legacy Across Generations. Ladies and gentlemen, this story is not just about personal success. It is about the universal immigrant journey. First, the sacrifices of parents are never wasted. Second, faith and love can create miracles. Third, the baton of hope passes from generation to generation. The tears of the first generation became the achievements of the second. Those achievements became the promise of the third. The parents say it best: "We didn't have much, but we raised our sons' dreams as high as we could. And today, we know our tears were never in vain." The immigrant's path is always steep and lonely, but within it lies the power of sacrifice and love that blossoms into opportunity for the next generation. This family's story is proof. And so, ladies and gentlemen, may their journey leave you with courage and hope for your own. Thank you.